Well, updates on the Wuhan COVID virus. All cruise ships that depart or transit from any ports in China will not be allowed to enter Malaysia for the time being. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the move was a temporary measure to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 infection, following a case involving an American woman who tested positive for the virus yesterday, the 22nd confirmed case in the country. According to Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, the 83-year-old woman and her husband were among the 145 passengers who arrived at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, via chartered flight on February 14 from Cambodia. They were among over 2,000 passengers and crew of the cruise ship MS Westerdam that docked in Cambodia. The US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur had chartered Malaysian Airlines flight to fly passengers. However, following the latest developments, 3 of the 4-hour flights have been cancelled by the national carrier. Of the 145 passengers, only 137 were allowed to continue their journey from KLIA as they did not show any COVID-19 symptoms and only 6 still remained in the country.
Kalau 6 penumpang yang masih menunggu penerbangan selanjutnya akan menjalani ujian pengenalan COVID-19. MOH telah mengambil sampel daripada mereka, ya. Kita tunggu ujian keputusan ujian tersebut. Sekiranya ujian tersebut disahkan negatif, penumpang tersebut akan dibenarkan untuk meneruskan perjalanan. Walau bagaimanapun, sekiranya positif, penumpang tersebut akan dibawa ke hospital bagi pemantauan kesihatan selanjutnya.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah added the American woman also tested positive for a second time late last night, following requests from the cruise operator and Cambodian authorities for further tests. However, her husband tested negative. She also said the remaining passengers of MS Westerdam, still in Cambodia, would not be allowed to enter Malaysia since they were in close contact to the 22nd confirmed case. Meanwhile, a 59-year-old woman from Wuhan, China, who is the 15th case of the COVID-19 in Malaysia, has recovered from the illness and was discharged today as results came out negative after she was tested twice for the virus. Now, a number of passengers were also denied boarding for an Amsterdam-bound KLM flight departing from KLIA on Saturday. The travellers, including Dutch and American citizens, are among the passengers and crew on the MS Westerdam cruise ship, which was turned away by 5 ports before disembarking in Cambodia. This was following the confirmed COVID-19 case involving the 83-year-old American passenger who also boarded the cruise ship. The tourists who were kept from boarding KLM Flight 810 are still in Malaysia, along with a group of Dutch citizens suspected to have had close contact with the infected American woman. The Dutch RIVM, National Institute for Public Health and the Environment, estimated that 11 people were not allowed on the plane. An 80-year-old Chinese tourist in France has died from COVID-19 coronavirus in the first death outside of China and Asia. According to French Health Minister Agnès Buzyn, said the man had died of a lung infection due to the virus. Now, he was treated at the Bichat Hospital in northern Paris since January 25th, but his condition had deteriorated rapidly after several critical days. France has recorded 11 cases of the virus, with 6 people remaining in hospital across the country, but fortunately none was seriously ill. One of them was the deceased Chinese tourist's 50-year-old daughter, while the rest were British nationals who were infected by a compatriot at a French ski resort. So far, the only reported fatalities outside of the Chinese mainland has been in the Philippines, Japan and Hong Kong. Now, a further 70 people on the Diamond Princess cruise ship quarantined in Japan have tested positive for the virus, bringing the total number of cases from the vessel to 355. It was reported that the United States, Canada and Hong Kong are sending aircraft to the country to bring back their citizens on board the ship.
The Diamond Princess, owned by Carnival Corp, has been quarantined since arriving in Yokohama, southwest of Tokyo, on February 3rd, after a man who disembarked in Hong Kong before the ship traveled to Japan was diagnosed with the virus. The ship, with some 3,700 passengers and crew on board, has the most coronavirus infections outside China. Those testing positive are transferred to local hospitals. Across China's Hubei province, a ban will be imposed on vehicle traffic to curb the spread of the virus. However, police cars, ambulances, vehicles carrying essential goods or other vehicles related to public service would be exempted. The government said regular health checks will be carried out on all residents and companies will need permission from them before resuming work. This comes as Chinese Health Authority reports 2,009 new confirmed cases and 142 deaths on Saturday from the virus.